Okay, so this is our weekly wilderness webinar, and I'm Mandy Robinson Young. So Mandy Robinson is my married name. Mandy Young, many people know me by that name on LinkedIn and social media. It's my maiden name and often the name I use for business. But I am a psychologist and an eco-psychologist. So core to everything that I do, whether it be working with individuals, with teams, or taking people on wilderness encounters, is personal development. I just think who we are is just so core to everything else. So as a psychologist, I love to give people clarity so that they feel motivated and passionate and can live their greatness. And as an eco-psychologist, I've spent a lot of time, very privileged time, with wild animals like elephants, meerkats, white lions, mountain gorillas, the African wild dogs, and spent some time with tribal people, the Maasai and the Bushmen, and also had the privilege of swimming with dolphins. So all of that has really taught me that healing ourselves and healing the world go hand in hand. So my passion is taking people on wilderness encounters, whether we do it in real life in an actual national park or wilderness place, or we do it online, so that people can gain personal and professional insights. I think often when we are learning, we learn best through experiences. So I'd rather give people an experience of some kind, because then I think the learning really stays, than just share a whole lot of words. So tonight we have a very interesting topic. We're focusing on never giving up. And I think we all have situations in our lives where we have dreams or goals or desires, and it's really hard to keep going. So we're going to be inspired. So I often use wild animals, tribal people to inspire us, because they often know very well how to relate, how to be adaptive in challenging circumstances, and just how to survive and thrive. So I'm going to share a short video. I'm going to ask Sakita and Karina, as much as they can, to just be very attentive to the video. Just jot down anything that stands out for you, any thoughts, any ideas, anything that just really catches your attention. And then we'll just chat a little bit afterwards in line with the topic that we've chosen. So right now I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to watch a short video. Can you see the video okay? Sakita, can you see the video?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, here we go. So I've had some time to watch that a few times and reflect. So I know that you've just watched it once and this is going to be a bit spontaneous. But what stood out for you the most in that whole interaction?
For me, the determination.
Okay.
Yeah, determination and finding different routes to reach the top.
Okay.
Those
So
two things really stood out to me. Such a small creature, but never gave up until it reaches the top.
yeah. Yeah, you kind of keep catching your breath. Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Yeah. So what's really stood out for you is just the determination of such a little thing. And
Yeah,
he never gave up. He just kept going
kept going.
until he got to the top.
Yep.
Do you think what do you think about the mother leading the little cub that way?
Um, the mother is showed the cub how to do it,
Sure.
and gave the encouragement every time the cub was reaching and trying to reach the top, but did not come down to completely help him, like whichever way, I don't know, even if she knew how to do it, but she stayed at the top and encouraging to come cheer for him to come up there.
Yeah, yeah. So I think for me, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, but for me, I think that mother knew that the cub had the resources and she knew she knew the cub really well. She knew what
Mm,
it was capable of and knew what its strengths were, its level of resilience, and
mm,
she took the cub a route that she knew he could make it. But it was
mm,
quite brave of her. It must have been quite
yeah.
hard when her only little cub started descending down the mountainside.
Mm,
And I liked the way you said that he tried different routes. And
yeah.
what I kind of noticed is that he watched his mother and then he chose
Hmm.
his own way.
Hmm.
Well, I'll try
Yeah.
this way. And that didn't
Yeah.
work because
Yeah.
obviously it was a little too steep. And then
Right.
in time when he tried, he kind of got up through he noticed her footsteps. So
Uh,
he went the same way that she had gone. So, as you
yeah.
said, she set an example. And I was
Right.
thinking that when we're thinking about not giving up, I think some of the things that might help us not to give up is to have a mentor or somebody we look up to, somebody who's been there before, somebody who's
Hmm.
climbed that mountain before and made it, you know, who can kind of give us, not only have our backs and stand at the top there and encourage us, but also show us the way. At
Yes.
the same time, as you said, not do it for us. Um,
Yes.
Because the one thing that also stood out to me, because obviously I had a bit more time to watch and think about this, is that the second time when he did choose the right route and he was going up, he almost made it to the top. And then
Right.
she reached out to try and help him, and he fell even further down. What are your thoughts about that? Any thoughts about that in terms of not giving up, or in terms of what helps us succeed, what helps us not succeed?
Um, I have been to in a similar situation
Huh?
where I have almost reached the goal I had, and
Yeah.
then it did not. I didn't achieve the goal. So I think in this situation, success is not guaranteed, but we have to keep trying to reach. Even if we reach the top, that doesn't mean that we can achieve the goal. So we have to keep this in mind, back of our head, that we have to keep going. Even if at the last moment, if it doesn't work out, that should not stop us from trying.
Sure. Have you ever heard that saying where it says, it's the darkest time of the night is just before the dawn? And
That's true.
sometimes
That's
just
true.
before you have that breakthrough, it seems to be you have the most challenges.
Mm,
That is the heart, and that's really character defining. If you can really
yes.
push through at that point,
Yes.
that really means you're a winner, you're a survivor.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I think of two things that come to mind around that. One is a short story that I actually was looking at before I found this video, and it was about two frogs. I don't know if you've heard this story, but two frogs are great friends and they're great adventurers, and they go out one day and they find a bucket, and it's too tall for them to see what's inside. So they do a big leap and they go right over the side and they land in this cream. And
Mhm,
but when they land in the cream, it's too they can't get out because it's too low
mhm,
down and they can't reach
mhm,
get out again. And they
mhm,
swim and they swim and they swim. And the one frog says, "No, I'm giving up." And the little one says, "No, keep going, keep going." There's no, we're just going to die anyway. I might as well give up now. There's no,
mhm,
keep going, keep going. Anyway, the one frog does give up, and unfortunately, he dies. But the other one keeps going and keeps going, and he especially keeps going for his friend, because his friend has given up his life in this effort. And by the morning, he's gone around so much that the cream has turned into butter. So he can climb out. So it just reminds me of that story as well, that, sometimes when you just really, really feel like giving up, it's that one last little thing that will get us all the way there.
yeah.
And the other thing it reminds me of, there's a really great book I've read recently by someone called Chris Burtish. He's South African from Cape Town, so I know him. And he's someone who just does not give up. In 2012, he won Mavericks, which is the big wave surfing competition. And in the
Mhm,
first heat, he completely wiped out, and he had to choose whether he was going to try again. But he actually did. He got up and nearly drowned, tried again, and he won. But then he decided to go do a stand-up paddling on a stand-up paddleboard right across the Atlantic Ocean from Morocco all the way to Antigua in South America. And I just thought that's unbelievable, all on his own. And he could have, there were times when he actually went backwards because of the storm and the currents, but he kept going. So I think those things remind me of that little bear.
yes. So true. So
Yeah.
true.
But
Yes.
then I also thought about, when the mother bear went to help him, he got distracted and he fell the furthest down than ever before. And
Yeah, I was worried.
you were worried. You didn't think he'd get back up again. I know it was really far. It kept going down and
Yeah.
down and down. And I just thought, sometimes when we do have a dream or a goal and somebody who we really look up to tries to help us, sometimes that makes us doubt. It makes us doubt we can do it, and it makes
Mm-hmm.
us feel less strong, and we actually end up starting at an even lower point than
Right.
than we ever were before we even kind of went on. Because when we had our new goal, we're all
Mhm,
excited and we all fresh with enthusiasm. We haven't had
mhm.
any failures yet, so we're really believing we can do it. And I think
Yeah.
when somebody tries to help us, that's when we lose confidence in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I quite like that he restabilized himself. He's now on rocky ground, stable ground,
Yeah.
And I think for us, it's like that as well. We've got to restabilize ourselves. We've got to build up our confidence again, build up our belief again, maybe think about some new strategies, how to get to the top, and then give it another go. And so the next time he, as you said, he doesn't give up and he gets to the top. So I think there's some really amazing life insights for us from that little bear and the mother bear. What do you think?
Oh, I think Mother Nature always teaching us lessons that in our, you know, um, life, human life, we forget. It's right there. It just takes little bit of time to notice them. It's right there in front of us, but we
Yeah,
don't notice. It just. I am always looking for those signals, I call it, that Mother Nature giving us, and I try to stop and reflect on it.
good.
To learn.
That's fantastic. It's wonderful to meet somebody who thinks like that, because I think many of us in the Western society or in industrialized societies where we're not that connected with nature as if we were farming or something like that, we forget how important nature is and how many, not just sort of physically and emotionally and spiritually restoring and um, invigorating on many different levels, but we learned so much just from being in nature. So,
Mhm.
Sakita, I was wondering if you have an example of some nature insight that has really been important in your life or happened recently.
I take my dog for a walk every morning, and um, some days is very strange. Certain area of the our walk, I always looking at her because she gives me that I walk alone and it's pretty early in the morning,
Ah,
and she gives me the signal, don't go there. Like she will
wow,
fight me to not to go there, and it's very strange. That's a very well not known route,
okay.
and yeah, I don't go there, and there is a reason. And it's lovely trees and wild area, wooded area. I don't go there, and I listen and I stop and listen to the birds and all. There is a quietness in that, in that
Mm,
moment, and I stop because it's my in my inner voice tells me I should not go that side today. But I have walked in that area so many, but the animals, the birds in that area, they become very quiet for whatever reason. And my dog also gives me, she will not walk that side, even if I, dragging the leash to
mm,
that.
mm.
So I think Mother Nature does gives us that when to be safe, when in the nature, and when you should not force yourself. And then in the evening I get a email notification from my building office saying that, oh, we have there is a coyote den in that area, the particular area I was
Oh,
trying to
wow.
walk.
Oh, wow.
So we advise don't go that side, even if you are taking your big dogs, don't go there. Small dogs too, you don't walk in that area. But
Wow.
the birds become, I know when there is a sighting, the birds go nuts, absolutely. They will fly here and there and make noises, and I know there is some kind of wild animal in that area.
Okay.
That's the latest came into my mind. But yeah, mother nature is nothing but the animals, the trees, the plants, and whoever in that. That's the way I take the energy from. I love nature. I
Yeah,
love
and its
nature.
energy does give so much nature. And thanks so much for sharing that lovely story.
Yeah,
It's wonderful that your dog is so in tune and so
yeah,
attentive and that she's so protective, that she doesn't want you to get hurt in any way. And the
Mm.
birds as well. But the main thing is you listen to them. You listen to your dog. You listen to the birds. And it's just so enriching, isn't it?
Yes, sometimes I just go and there is a bench in that wooded area. I just go and sit there, and it's the
Wonderful.
calmness, the trees. It's just so refreshing early in the morning. She doesn't bark. She's sitting next to me, and I just sit there quiet. It's the
Amazing.
quietness of I hear the birds going,
And
looking
that really
away.
energizes you, just gives you peace.
Definitely, definitely.
You can see you've got a lot of energy and light that comes from your being, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from just starting your day by being in nature.
Yeah, I love nature. Um, People, I have friends say, you don't, I don't go out for parties. Shadi, I'm not that person, but I enjoy myself, what I have. I just go out with my dog, do different things, creative things, and read and pay attention what's going on in the nature. I'm happy with that.
It's wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've written a book and it's going to be published this year, I hope. But it's about my journey in nature and people who've traveled with me and how our lives have been changed. But my experience has been that each animal species I was drawn to spend time with had something to show me or heal in me or mature in me. So my journey started with the wild dogs, the African wild dogs, and
Oh my God.
I understood things with my heart, and then I understood them later with my head. So I was drawn to observe the African wild dogs, and I then began to realize that early man and the early wild dogs wouldn't have survived if they didn't nurture close kinship bonds, if they didn't nurture those family bonds.
Mhm.
And it made me realize that when I was 10 years old, I was sent, my parents were moving from one country to another, and they thought I was very intelligent. But as a result, I got sent to a school two countries away from where my parents were. And it was quite a challenging experience for me. I felt very abandoned. I felt very alone.
Mhm.
And I kind of, after that, became very independent, but also very distrusting. And I'd always hang out on the outside of a group because I wasn't quite sure I belonged, never had a
Yeah.
sense of belonging. And so, what the wild dogs were showing me was that was what happened in my early life, and that's what I need to fix. I need
Oh,
to find ways of being in groups where I feel a sense of belonging. I needed to find a sense of belonging within myself. And so, they just are amazing, the kind of understandings that they bring to you when you spend time with them.
right, right. Um, my mom and my sister tell me I am a animal lover since childhood. It's not something that I grew to love. We had in India, in a small town in my parental home, we had goats. Cats are, feral there. Dogs are also feral, but always we had bunnies then
Oh, wow.
pigeons in the house. And I'm the only one very protective about our animals in the house. And I would go on, I'll be very upset if they're hurt somehow or they are not fed properly or taken care of. My parents said it's very unusual. Like, I would not allow anybody to touch them. It's just in from my birth, I'm like that.
Wow.
When I
So
can,
you just had this real connection with animals from the day you were born. That's so amazing.
probably. And I came to United States and I didn't have any animal for years. For
Oh, no.
years.
That must have been awful for
Oh
you.
my God. And then my husband passed away.
Oh,
And
sorry.
me and my daughter here, my daughter was 10 years old. So we go for grief counseling,
Okay.
and then the counselor tells us, I think you guys you should get a dog because it will help you.
Wow.
And I'm
Am-
looking at her, I'm like, what is she talking about? Dog? Foreign country, I don't have the means to take care of a pet, and she's asking us to get a dog. But anyway, I talked to my family. They said, you have it. It's natural to you. Go and get a dog. And that dog lived 17 years with me.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Rescue dog.
And did it help? Did the dog really help you with the grief?
It was a life-changing experience.
Oh, amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful story, Sakita, that beautiful life story. And I
Yeah.
think what you've just brought out, whether you're in India or in America, you don't have to be in the wild to enjoy animals. You can walk in a park, you can have a dog, you can have chickens, you can have rabbits, you know,
Right.
um, you can have the closeness with animals wherever you are and in whatever circumstance you're in. And it doesn't even have to be animals, even plants and anything that's part of nature and has this
Right.
beautiful way of bringing joy in life. And I don't know if it's like this for you, but when I just even watch my dog walking along, she's just so present, just so uncomplicated and just
Yeah.
so full of energy and joy. You
Yeah.
can't help but not be impacted by that.
Right. That. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like when I come home, the way she greets me is just, I'm
Oh,
like,
that's also great, isn't
amazing, amazing presence.
it? Yeah.
I do have a little garden in my porch here since
Okay.
I live. So I'm
Okay.
always something in the nature always with me.
Oh, that's lovely. And
Yes.
I'm going to close with that
Sure.
comment about the greeting, because I think that's something that animals are amazing with and something we've forgotten as people. Whether it's your dog, whether it's how elephants greet each other, wild dogs, dolphins, they always have this amazing greeting behavior that kind of says, hey, you're part of my family, you're part of my team. It gives you a sense of belonging. If you think about it in our current busy lives, it's very seldom you'll go home and somebody's there to greet you. Somebody's usually cooking, someone's on the phone, someone's on the iPad. Everybody's kind of busy, but if there is this greeting behavior, even like if you go to family or friends and they greet you, it's a great feeling, of a sense of belonging and a sense of connection. I think that's what
Yes.
nature does. It brings a sense of connection, and we live in such a disconnected world a lot of the time.
Yes. Yeah, and I work in technology. I know that.
Ah, you do. So that's a great balance for you, especially
Yeah.
when you're having to work in technology. It's a great
Right.
balance for you.
Yes, yes,
Well
I
done.
need this. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sakita. I hope that you're going to come on more weekly wilderness webinars as we discuss different
Yes.
topics week by week. And I really appreciate your presence, for the stories you've told, for the lovely examples you've given. I'm deeply grateful. And Karina, we
Thank
haven't heard anything from you, but we've felt your presence. And
you. Yeah.
thanks for just being with us as well. So I'll say bye for now, but I hope we
Okay.
see you next week or sometime soon on another weekly wilderness webinar.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to look forward to your blog, what you say,
Okay, I will share
your
this
life
with everybody so
experience.
we can enrich their lives as well. So
Yeah.
look out for the video. I'll
Thank
save
you.
it and yeah. Okay, and Karina says thank you very much. The little message
Okay.
from her.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.